Hello, testing. Okay.
Hello.
Okay, so hello, my name is Mia, and we are. Who are you?
My name is Henry Banner Beard. I go by Banner. I am a second semester sophomore, and I'm a comics major.
Ooh, okay. Very cool. And then let's start with the first question. As an artist, what is your goal?
My goal, so I have a few different goals. I have a story I've been working on since sophomore year of high school about two characters named Fear and Tegan. So I want to get that to be fully watercolored into a comic and published one day. I have another goal of I'm very interested in psychology. My plan is I brought in a semester's worth of credits. So I'm allowed to take 4 classes a semester since I'm not graduating early. I'm going to start taking community college classes for psychology because it's something I'm very interested in. And so then I could go straight into my master's program go into psychology to study like art therapy, but mostly just to be able to be certified so I can do studies. I want to do studies on like how people perceive themselves and self-worth the most, and then put it into a comic understanding, not using big fancy psychology words or breaking it down. And not in a self-help book kind of way, because that's, people can find a self-help book if they want to find a self-help book, but I kind of don't think they're the best medium. It more just be like in a book of like, you're not like, to preface like that you're not alone, and like, this is how everyone thinks of other, like these are how people think of other people, and that's my main goal, is to be able to do psychology studies and put them into a comic format.
I think that's a really cool combination, especially because comic art is also can be very character driven. So I'm sure your characters are really do you delve into their psychology a lot, and it's fun?
The story for Fear and Tegan is processing it's about their relationship through the years of them knowing each other, and how relationships change every single day. You get a little closer to someone, you get a little farther away from someone every single day. And it's just about that, mostly the study of just how they react to scenarios. It's not here's a big epic of they're gonna go kill a monster. It's more of here's these two characters interacting day by day. What's gonna happen, kind of thing.
Well, that's really cool. So I wish the best for you. Next question. Kind of with that similar question. Where do you see yourself after you graduate?
Hopefully, somewhere with a master's program for psychology. My goal is to maybe end up back in Boston.
Okay.
Well, not back in Boston. I'm not from Boston. I have a lot of friends who are from the Boston area and plan on moving to the Boston area after they graduate. They're several years older than me. And I have a goal of mine to, be able to live and, live with them, at least for a little bit.
Boston's cool.
Yeah, so the goal is Boston, psychology program, and then just seeing what happens afterwards. I'm very open to being a person that moves around. I wouldn't mind doing residencies in Europe.
Ooh.
Don't know if I would have that opportunity, but if I could, that'd be great.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would love to just be on the countryside somewhere as well.
I can see you traveling around and just those artists who move around and draw where they are. All right, next question. What made you choose an art school instead of going independent? Why choose MCAD?
I chose an art school. I kind of knew I was going to go to art school since 8th grade, because the idea of having to take a math class in college sounded to be the worst thing ever.
No.
And I'm bad at math. I'm not the smartest tool sharpest tool in the shed, the saying. So I kind of knew I wanted to do art from a young age, and I picked MCAD was not my first choice originally.
What was it?
I wanted to go to SCAD because everyone wanted to go to SCAD. Then I toured SCAD.
I went to a summer program in SCAD.
How was that?
It was really great.
So I toured SCAD. I didn't enjoy it.
Oh.
And then I took my junior year. I took a SCAD class that I thought was a pre-college class. It was just a straight college class.
Oh, shoot.
And I remember the professor, he was like, okay, where's everyone from? If you're a SCAD student, blah, blah, blah. It was on Zoom.
Oh.
And I was able to join the first class, even though there was a time change. And I started hearing everyone's grade going, I'm a sophomore at SCAD, I'm a freshman at SCAD. And a few people being like, I'm seniors in high school. And then I went, I'm a junior in high school. And the teacher just kind of went, okay.
So you were going... But you were trying to get pre-college anyway, for PSEO, right? But you didn't know? Or you thought it was like a summer pre-college?
I thought it was just a pre-college class I could take.
Oh.
Because I was like, I just wanted to take I wanted to take the anatomy class. Mm-hmm. Then I found out that it was just like an actual like science anatomy class. And I was already taking anatomy junior year. So I was like, well, throw me in. I was like, I've already paid the money, so I can't get out of it. Mm-hmm. Put me somewhere else. And they put me in, basically it was like media. Like they taught me, I became Photoshop certified. So after that hell of an experience, I was like, I don't want to go to SCAD. Because it was my junior year in high school. I was stressed out of my mind.
Dude, that's cool though.
It was fun. And then I did the Pratt pre-college program, which was very good. I did comics and creative writing, and then I went to my comics professor the last day of Pratt, because he was like, I'm gonna take y'all out one by one, ask you and just basically do an evaluation on you. So it's my turn to go out, and the evaluation goes, and then he goes, okay, so what do you want to do? I was like, I want to do comics. I'm very loud about that. And then I go, is this a good school for comics?
Oh, good question.
And then he goes kind of silent and goes, no. Mm. And I went, what the fuck you mean, no?
What am I doing here?
Yeah, I'm going into the summer of my senior year. Mm-hmm. You're telling me this isn't a good option. Now I'm back at square one again of I don't know where I'm going to go for college.
Yeah.
Which it was a good program. I emailed him again during the school year being like, are you sure? And he was like, yes.
So, but if they did have the comics program, you would have went to Pratt?
I would have tried. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, they don't even have a comics program. They just do a pre-college, which is weird.
Oh, it's just a pre-college comics program?
Yeah, it's just a pre-college comics program. He's a professor there, the teacher I had.
They're like, here's a taste of nothing.
Yeah, here's a taste. This is not a real thing you can pursue. And also, in New York, whatever. So now I'm back at square one, and MCAD, it keeps emailing me. I'm like, fine, I'll fill out the information.
Whatever this is.
Yeah, I'll look through the website. And went, oh, actually, this is really intriguing. And then I filled it out, I applied, got in, and I toured, and I was like, actually, it was one of those times, I never believed in the stuff of you'll know when you get there. I was like, that's bullshit. And then when I walked around, I was like, actually, I can actually see myself going here and having a good time. You're
touching the walls, this is home.
I can be here.
I can see myself here.
I saw the risograph and went, I can come here.
No, wait, what graph?
The risograph, the printer.
Oh, no, those printers are insane. Yeah.
And the comics professors here are all amazing as well. So, I feel pretty confident in my choice. Mm-hmm. The only thing also the reason I really wanted to go to Pratt is because people I consider family, go to school in New York. Not in New York City, but, 2 hours away.
Yeah.
And I have a few friends in Boston. So, once again, it's only, 5-hour train ride. Mm-hmm. And that was, the main thing that kept being but even though they don't have comics, everyone I know is there. And it's also New York City. And then I went, it's also New York City. Yeah, I can't afford that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and I landed on MCAT, and it's been great since.
Okay, so for the book pages, to sum it down, is it okay if I just say, comic, they had a comics program? Yeah. Find more on the podcast.
I'm very talkative. I'm so
no,
sorry
you're
to tell
good.
you
This is great. This is great. Okay, next question. What do you think about the state of the art industry right now?
That's a great question. Animation's about to go on strike. Good for them. Comics, so far, I don't think has been too affected by what's happening. Mm-hmm. The only issue with the comics industry, which has been an issue since it started, is it's just hard work. It's hard and long hours. You don't get paid well. There's been a lot of what's his name? Do I have any of his work? Oh, Jack Kirby. He fought to get a lot of artists didn't even get paid residuals, which we still don't. I don't think most comic people don't get paid residuals, but you didn't keep your physical work. That was something. And
if you worked for a company.
Yeah, Jack Kirby's Marvel pages, he didn't get to own, and then he took them to court, and I think he won after he died.
Oh.
Which has been honestly an ongoing thing with comic.
Yeah.
Things is they usually win, but after the person who started the lawsuit dies, which isn't great. Mm-hmm. That's the main thing of if you work for Marvel or DC, you're gonna be treated like shit, which that's not my goal. I'll enjoy a superhero comic.
you're trying to go for like an independent.
Yeah.
You don't want to work for DC or Marvel or anything like that.
No, I heard IDW treats their artists very well, but you still don't get paid. Like it's whatever. Like there are rates, but you don't have like health insurance because you're a freelancer, which sucks.
Yeah.
It's not the safest job. But the comic industry has gotten better, and the good thing about comics is a question I've always asked. I'm like, well, will comics go out of style one day? And they're like, comics will never go out of style because they're so cheap to make. Mm-hmm. So my industry will exist. The form and existence will change and progress
and
as time
also,
goes.
I feel like a lot of, I don't know, maybe I'm just in a small bubble, but do you feel like there's a lot of like comic adaptations? I know there's like Marvel and like always adapt, but like even then, like there's Scott Pilgrim adapted from like comics. I feel like
most things come from a comic, honestly. Like there was something I watched recently that I found out was originally from a comic book that I didn't know. I don't remember what it was, but everything comes from something, and comic books are easy to adapt. Yeah, because the references are right there. You don't have to really think of much. Yeah. Like there's always gonna be room to grow. The question is, did the person who write it get like is involved with it, or did they just sell their book? Which both is fine. But if I were somehow to ever make a book that got adapted, I would want to be standing right next to the director the whole time, breathing down their neck.
Right, like you always hear stories over like your work gets manipulated. Yeah, I had a thought, but then it disappeared. But I just think it's interesting, like, I sometimes I'm like, I wonder, like, how popular is comics and like the scheme of like everything involved. Like in like, cause like besides our bubble, right? Yeah. Which I feel like I'm very into comics, whether it's web comics or traditional comics or manga. But like in the bigger world, it's sometimes hard to scope. Like, oh, is comics popular right now? What do you think about that?
I think it's kind of been on a downtick lately. I do think it depends. A thing about Marvel and DC. Say what you will about superhero comics. I'm a fan of superhero comics. I will say that right now. I'll put that on the record. Say what you will about superhero comics. Superhero comics are kind of the only reason the comic industry got the chance to be as big as it is. Because there was horror, there were westerns and sci-fi comics, but at least from what I know and the research I've done, and there's probably someone much smarter and more wiser out there than me that could disagree with me and probably prove me wrong. But that's the reason that the industry got this chance to be as big as it is.
Yeah.
I think anytime a popular hero, like, every time a Marvel movie's about to come out or a DC movie's about to come out, comics about those characters start, get more, like, bigger. Like, Hawkeye, my favorite character, doesn't get a lot of comics. But when his TV show came out, they were like, look, here's some new Hawkeye content, get excited, we have more. And then if you take interest in the character, maybe we'll do more with it. Like, there's stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on which character it is. Like, Spider-Man's always going to be popular. Spider-Man will always be big. Everyone loves Spider-Man. Batman will always be popular, even if they treat him like shit. Like, I think there's a baseline popularity, and that will ebb and flow and get higher or lower with no matter what happens. But it will always go back to, like, this mid-ground. They're, like, when Endgame came out, I bet, like, superhero comics were, like, at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Because everyone was so excited for that. They were just trying to grab whatever information they could. Right now, the Marvel movies kind of suck ass. So, there's that line. But I bet when that new Superman movie comes out, it's going to go big again. Oh, yeah. Because there's also, because there's media that's always getting adapted, then now there's always ways for people to get into it.
Yeah.
People to watch a movie and they go, I want to know more. And now there's over, like, 1,000 comics you can read. Have fun.
All right. Next question. Thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome.
When was the moment you knew you wanted to be an artist?
That's a good question. I don't really know. I really don't know.
Was it like a gradual thing? You were like, I'm liking this, or was it like I always knew?
It was something I always did. If you like asked like 6th grade me, and my only 2 ideas of a job at the point was like being in a cubicle being a doctor or whatever artists do. And that seemed better. Like, I was like, if I was in a cubicle for the rest of my life, I think I would die. I am also not meant to be a doctor. I'm not meant for blood. I'm not meant to see any of that.
Well, if it's like a comics cubicle, like in the studios.
Okay, I could do that. Those studios I want so bad.
Dude, I want one too.
Those are beautiful. Those are beautiful.
Which ones are like the popular ones? Is it the big painting ones?
I don't know how they do it. I would want a painting studio. I need all that room. But I think the cubicles are like the most for everyone. And then the painting studios are for people who do like most traditional work, I think. I also could be lying. I don't know. This is my assumption. There's also more studios
Spreading
on the third floor.
fake news.
That's all I do.
There's more on the fourth?
On the third floor.
Oh, I thought it was just like first and second. That's good to know.
Because there's the you don't know who Naoto is. Naoto is someone who was here, who graduated last year. But his big character, it's yellow with a blue hat, is painted on the third floor. You can see on the windows when he walks away.
That's where I saw the comic.
Rapture's great. That's where the third floor studios are.
Check it out.
What was the question? Oh, how did I know I got into... So it was kind of like a thing of like, this was an option that I know exists. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy storytelling. The moment that like I was 100%, which I think I've always been very like 80, 90%, 100%, COVID hits freshman year of high school. I sit myself down at my desk and go, okay, what do I want to do with the rest of my life right now?
Oh my god. And
then I decided, I narrowed it down to storytelling, and then I was like, okay, animation. Then I went, no. No offense to animators, good for you, not for me. And then comics, something I've always enjoyed. I was like, I could do that. And then now here I am.
Here you are.
Here I am.
Next question. Do you experience imposter syndrome? And if so, like how?
There is at times. I like would get it. The thing that like I got it a lot freshman year where I was like, I'm not good enough. Everyone else around me knows all these things and I don't. And everyone's better at doing this than I am. And then there was a moment in 2D where I painted a lot of birds for my 2D project. I'm trained in watercolor. And in my brain, I'm like, well, everyone knows how to paint. That's because everyone knows how to paint because I was taught that as a child. And this was me being kind of more like, not closed-minded, but like very narrow-minded. And then one of my friends came up to me going like, I wish I could do that. I was like, what do you mean you can't do that? Like, you weren't trained to do, like, I was like, you didn't have paint at your school? And they're like, well, no, I just don't understand it. And it was a moment of like, that it finally clicked in my head of like, very, very obvious thought of like, oh, people are good at different things. Crazy. And I practiced this more as a child and growing up, while people had more opportunities to practice digital art than I did. So, of course, people who had more opportunities to practice digital art are better than me. So that kind of, like, fixed it a little bit. There's still times where I'm, like, where I compare myself, of course.
Yeah. But it's, like, you have that mindset, like, where you recognize each people have different strengths. So.
Yeah. Everyone has a different strength, and that's fine. That's what makes us human and different, and it's okay. It's crazy. Crazy idea.
So last question for the book. One advice for like the underclassmen. So freshmen, I guess.
Freshmen. Be nice to your teachers. Your teachers are just doing their job. They are just doing unless they are actually being evil. They are just doing their job. Once again, unless they are being actually evil, then, you know...
Have you had any evil experiences?
I haven't. Matt has. Matt's had a few evil experiences. I've heard of evil experiences.
Not the evil art teachers, oh no.
I've gotten lucky. There's definitely been teachers where I'm like, that could have been probably taught better, but, you know, you're chill, so I'm not going to be mad at you.
Yeah.
And that's one advice, and then the other advice is just, like, you're at art school. Have fun. You're not here, like... I've heard that a few of y'all are kind of pretentious. I've heard there's a little bit of a pretentious streak running through the freshmen. A few of them.
Was that not your year? No pretentious freshmen?
I bet there was, but I never interacted with them. And it was more, like, it was our grade, I think, had the vibe of, like, we're at art school, we're going to be weird, we're going to do whatever the fuck, we're going to mess around. It's just, yeah, you're here to mess around.
What do you think is the vibe of this year?
I don't know any, like, the freshmen, except you and one other person that we knew last year, that, like, he was our secret third roommate, and now he goes to school here, is, like, the vibe I get is y'all are very stressed out all the time. Because I've seen, like, I only recognize a few of the freshmen because I've seen them repeatedly. Cause, like, they'll be like hanging out in the bistro or whatever. A lot of them I don't feel like I see most of the freshman class. Because I'll walk around when y'all are in class, like in drawing 2 or 1, and I'll see y'all outside drawing, and I go, who are these people? I've never seen, like, it's been, 3 months, and I haven't seen these people yet, which also it's been 3 months.
So you think we just, like, hide away?
Yeah.
Shut-ins?
I don't think y'all are shut-ins, I think y'all are nervous and stressed. But, like, go out. The worst thing that can happen is someone says no to, like, an idea, or says, like, they're busy and can't hang out. There's no point in, like, I'm a very social person. I can go talk to a wall for several hours. I think...
You are already. I'm not here.
I think just having people... Just, like, go see... If you see someone by themselves, interact with them. And if you find out that, okay, maybe they kind of suck, then you don't interact with them again.
Yeah.
But if maybe they're chill as hell. Who knows?
Testing... What's it called? Errors and tested. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're putting down.
Yeah. All right. So this is the bonus round. Bonus round. Let's go. So this part is gonna be the extra in the podcast. So if you're listening to this right now, we are in the bonus round.
21 minutes in.
So what makes an artwork good in your opinion?
In my opinion, okay. So what makes artwork good? I like seeing people just experiment. Let me move this shit. I love to just see people experiment and have fun. I don't want the same thing every time. I mean, like, a consistent style is always good to have, especially if you're doing sequential art, but also mess it up sometimes. Like, not everything has to be pretty. Not everything has to be elegant. If that's what you're going for, go for it. But, like, ugly expressions, collage, just messing with, like, different supplies is always fun and also helps broaden your horizons, and you can always learn something new. I think that's what makes art good to me, if I could tell that they had fun and they experimented with something. That's my favorite aspect.
Sick. Next question. An art style that you love and one that you hate.
My favorite... Okay, if you've ever been in a comic class with me, I've talked about David Aja. He is the artist for a lot of the newest Hawkeye comics. Well, the, like, Hawkeye run...
Are you a Hawkeye fan?
I am a very big Hawkeye fan. I am a very big Hawkeye fan. Matt Fraction's run of Hawkeye. David Aja's art is very good. Otto Schmidt's art's very good for Hawkeye and Green Arrow, both archers. And then Leo Ramirez, who did art for Gerard Way's comics, is very good too. Artists that I hate.
What is all those that have, like, similar in combination that you appreciate?
I think Otto Schmidt's the one that isn't similar to these two. Otto Schmidt, it just has a very colorful, very, like, thin, loose art style. David Aja's art is just very clean, and he does very good black spotting. And he also has, like, it's like 700 panels on the page. That's a lot.
Wow.
It's more like 20 panels a page because they're, like, small, intricate ones. And it's very cool to see.
So you appreciate, like, the technical parts of the artist?
I have so many of, like, the amount of artist boards I have on Pinterest is crazy. And then Leo Ramirez just has a very fun art style. That's really it. An artist that I hate. Why am I looking at my bookshelf with artists that I, like, art books I have that I own? An artist that I hate... What is his name? It is one of the Kubrick brothers, which any comic fan that's listening to me would hate my ass for that. Kubert. Is it
Kubert? Bert?
Yeah, with a T.
Oh.
Is it Joe Kubert's art?
Wait, is it Q-U?
It's Kubert.
Kubert.
Is it Joe or Adam?
Oh, okay, so they're comic.
They're, like, cousins that are very big, that have their own art school.
Oh, wow.
Art school in New York that's just comic based.
Dang.
However, is it Joe's work?
Does this look familiar?
I think it might be Joe's work that I'm not the biggest fan of.
What aspects?
It's very old. Like, his newer stuff's is fine. But like his older work, I'm not the biggest fan of the older comic, like the industry style for like superhero comics. I think they're kind of gross looking. That I don't enjoy.
Oh, I think you're upsetting a lot of comic fans right now.
Wait. Like it's just not like the most appealing thing for me to look at. The artist who did the original Sandman comics, I also don't. I want to get into Sandman real bad. Well, I kind of want to get into it less because Neil Gaiman information came out. But, like, the first several issues... I have, like, the first volume. And I got it when I was in high school. And every time I tried to open it, I'd see the original pages and just go, oh, this is so ugly. It's so ugly to look at.
It's so interesting, like, reading, like, the newest comic Marvel and DC versus, like, the older ones is, like, even, like, it's... The forms and everything is so, like, wow.
Yeah, there's
like,
not the same
but
standard.
If I read, like, the old Superman or Spider-Man, it's, like, it's so stiff. There's no, like, movement or flow. It's just a very, like, stiff...
Poses.
Like, yeah, and, like, the coloring is flat. And, you know, once in a... Now I'm dissing on the... But, you know, I just, like...
Matt's joining the conversation.
No, I was just saying the Captain America. With
the scare... Okay.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I have art from that guy. Like, I have comics from his art. That is one of the Kubricks. That's one of the sons.
I watched one of, like... A video I saw on him, and I was like, so fascinating.
I think it's Adam Kubert, the son of Andy, that did that.
Wow.
If I'm not wrong.
But yeah, there's definitely a huge difference in the modern and...
We know it's Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld, the guy that did Deadpool through the scary Captain America.
Yeah, the one with like the huge
chest. The one where his like chest is like at a like 3/4 angle, even though he's not.
Yeah, you know.
I know a few comic facts here and there. You know.
Even I know that one.
I love you, Rob Liefeld.
Rest in peace.
He's still alive. He's still alive.
He just passed away.
What?
Rob Liefeld?
No way.
No way. He just posted on Instagram like 3 days ago. Rob Liefeld, did you just die and I don't know about it?
I swear to God, my comic
He is still alive.
I swear to God, my comic
Liam Payne died.
Yeah, Liam Payne died. He is 57. He's younger than my father.
I swear to God, my comics teacher told me that the guy who did the scary Captain America died.
He's a liar.
Algerio's wrong, and I mean, I also could be wrong. It might not be Rob Liefeld, but it is. Yeah, that's him. That's him right there. I need to talk to Mr. Faceoff right now.
Anatomy, final boss.
Anatomy, final boss. It's scary Captain America, Rob Liefeld. Okay, sorry. Continue with your questions.
Yeah. So, okay. What is your binge art food? Do you like eat while you do art, and if so, what?
I'm a big popcorn fan, big popcorn head. But eating,
That's risky though. You got greasy fingers.
That's also why, because I also do a lot of my work traditional. If I'm doing digital art, then I eat a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Like I'll eat like some chips or stuff. But because I do mostly do traditional art, I'm also bad at multitasking. Like if I have food on my desk, I'm probably not gonna touch it if I'm working, and then if I start eating it, I'm gonna watch something. Mm-hmm. Peanut butter crackers is all. I could always go through a sleeve of saltines. If you put a sleeve of saltines in front of me, I will probably end up going through it.
It's the white square ones, right?
Yeah. There's only a package of saltines on my desk currently. I love saltines.
All right. The next question: do you make art for yourself or for others?
I make art mostly for myself. Mm-hmm. Because I'll do commissions and stuff. Obviously, I'll do some art for others, in like that sense. One of the core things about my art is I want to spread joy in one way, so I guess that's a little bit more for others, but I'm drawing, like, things that I find joyful. Yeah. Things that I think are fun, like, quiet moments.
Like, coincide with each other.
Yeah, I do art for myself, and it sometimes, because the messages are, something to spread joy with, it affects others. It's directed more at others, but I'm drawing what I think is joyful, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, there's times where, I'll just do something on my own volition, no matter, if people see it or not. Okay. But I guess I'm a selfish artist in that way. I like drawing for myself more.
It's not selfish, but I think that's cool. Unpopular art opinion. You have any controversial art opinions? Drop them right now.
This is more of a controversial comics opinion. Okay. I'm gonna sound like a snob. I'm gonna sound like a comic snob. I think if you want to get into comics, read whatever you want. That's a fact. Like, read whatever you want. If you want to read indie stuff, read indie. If you want to read fantasy high, read fantasy. Not high fantasy. Fantasy high is something else. High fantasy, read high fantasy. If you want to read superheroes, read superheroes. However, you should always branch out. No matter what. Like I said, majority of the comics on our shelf, actually, honestly, they're not. Usually they are mostly superhero. It's mostly Hawkeye. But I'm not going to learn anything by only reading Hawkeye. I got to read a few, like, I need to read Slice of Life. I need to read some manga and stuff like that. However, there are some people who have the opinion of superhero comics are the worst art form of all. Or, like, they're comics that, like, don't matter. Which is a bullshit fucking take. And if you're going to get into comics, no matter what your stance is on superhero comics, you got to read a few. Because that is, in my opinion, the only reason we have an industry is, like, indie comics would always exist. But indie comics now have a bigger platform and are allowed to, like, be published. And it's not, like, little zines that are being handed out, like, at punk bars. They're actual books that you can purchase and buy, or there's the Short Box Comic Fair, which, once again, you could purchase and buy comics there. It's superhero comics, Marvel and DC are one of the only reasons that those exist, and you don't have to like it, but you should at least read, you should at least know a little bit of comic history, read something from the Golden Age, something from the Silver Age, something from the Bronze Age, and something from now.
So I think that's well said.
Yeah,
well-roundedness.
You need to be well-rounded no matter what art form you're doing, because you can't learn anything if you don't absorb media or know the history of. You have to consume media to make media. Exactly what Matt said.
Yep.
It's true and it's factual, and I'm also just a person that has always been like, you should know the history of the things you do, which isn't fully true. Like, if you're doing, like, you don't need to know all of Marvel history and DC history.
Okay.
But you should at least know why they exist and read something from them.
I agree. Biggest art inspo.
David Aja is someone I talk about a lot.
Hawkeye?
Yeah, Hawkeye. I love David Aja, man. Like I said...
Have you met him before?
No. I want to. I would love to talk to that guy. I don't know any Spanish, though.
Oh.
I think he knows English, though. David Aja is one of my biggest inspirations. If you look... My art's not very similar to his. If you really want to know something that impacted my art to a crazy extent... It is the person who did the concept art, or like the character art, for Dimension 20's High Fantasy. Like the original character drawings of them. Me and Matt watched through it recently and went, holy shit, that's just was like my art style as a child. Like at the time of when I first watched that, in like freshman year of high school. It's definitely more from then, but I feel like that is probably something that's affected my art style a lot. I also, Snoopy, Peanuts has affected my art style. There's literally a Snoopy book right there.
Aww.
That we got from the free shelf. Thank you,
Oh,
free shelf.
really?
I love the free shelf. Thank you, Peter, for finding that on the free shelf and then giving it to me.
A lot of people have been like, what do you think about the free shelf moving? People
I
were
fucking
like,
hate it!
What?
Because it's
Really?
so nice on the first look.
I disagree. I like the change.
You weren't here.
But that's because I'm a freshman, I guess.
Yeah, you didn't get to admire the beautiful mess that becomes during the end of
But, like,
the year.
It's already so hard to get through the thing. It's
that's like
it's like
part
you guys,
of it.
and it's like literally a dump. It's like people just dump stuff.
That's the charm. That's the beautiful charm of it.
I guess I don't appreciate the charm.
Yeah, you don't understand the beautiful charm.
I think we gotta give it a few like months, and I think the new art free shelf is gonna become the new dump.
Yeah, no.
Give it some time.
I
see it happening already.
I think it only moved over there for the because the service bureau's right there, so they can like at least kind of keep an eye on it. Because it's kind of in a corner where no one really looks. But like that's the beauty of it.
There's been a lot of questionable things on the free shelf last year.
There was a glass dildo on the free shelf last year. A vibrator was also in the electronics disposal, and it was like like this big. It was scary.
Oh my god!
I saw it. I was like, why is it so fucking big?
For the viewers, like, banner showing like a arm
arm length.
Arm length.
Maybe a little like bigger than like an Apple like laptop. Like it was scary. And there's always like random food that probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
But like that's the charm of it. That's my free shelf.
Well, we'll see. Okay, what's your favorite process in your art?
favorite process of my art, so with comics, I'm very like stingy. I have a notepad, like yellow line notepad that I will write my script on. I then will take that to my sketchbook, do a series of thumbnails, find a thumbnail I like, redraw it, like critique it, have someone else critique it, redraw it, critique it again, and then finally have my finished project. Yes, it's the most time-consuming thing, and yes, it is not a very fast-paced process. Sometimes I skip a few if I'm like, this is why I'm gonna go with this immediately, then I go with it. But it's a process that I'm able to get all of the thoughts in my head down. So I have the script. I write my scripts like plays, and then I imagine them like plays in my head. So I'm able to like.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm able to visualize, and I could see, okay, if I was watching a play, this would be what they would do during this action, because it would be important, and like this is what we would see.
So would you say the writing part is your favorite?
Yeah, the writing part. I love. I was originally going to be a creative writing minor. I'm now a teaching minor to help me get more hours for psychology. But yeah, writing is my favorite part of anything because it's creating the actual story.
That's true. This is the last question.
Okay.
Can you say one nice thing about AI art?
Do I have to? Like, is this something I have to say something nice about?
That's the question. Answer the question, buddy.
Can I say one nice thing about AI art? Yeah, it's nice that it can create slop, I guess. It's really cool.
This feels a little backhanded.
What? It's my southern roots. I'm doing my backhanded compliments like I learned in my southern town. It can make slop. I guess this isn't about AI art, but like the AI character things are kind of silly. The like little AI character chats, I think those are silly as hell.
Honestly, it's kind of credit where credit's due. Making like realistic like face claims of your characters with AI is kind of nice, because if you have a hyper specific look for them and you can't find a person that looks close enough.
Oh wait, what's your name?
Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. Matt did my compliment for me.
You phone a friend?
Yeah, I had to phone a friend. I think it's really nice that it can make slop. It's really cool that it's not on my Pinterest yet.
No.
Really love that hasn't invaded my Pinterest.
Really? Because, like, it's so scary. Like, I'd be looking for references. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Oh, no, it's AI.
See, I think the way I've gone around it is because I have like 700 million artist boards, like, dedicated to specific comic artists.
Let me see this.
Like, so
I feel like I want to reference this next year.
I have a bunch of those. So when I go on my like For You page and like look stuff up, it's more art that's done by these artists that I've saved. Instead of like I've gotten AI slop before, but I get it a lot less than my peers around me from what I've heard. Cause like our friend Barney, he was talking about how he was getting every other photo he was getting like for armor references were slop, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I literally was looking at armor references today, and like there's definitely AI slop, but it's like I'm doing pretty good without it.
Yeah, that's great. Unfortunately for me, it's too late.
No, you could still change your For You page. You just guys, the way to cheat is like find an illustrator or painter, or like if you are into comics, find a comic artist and just make folders up on their art, so then that your shit doesn't get destroyed. And it can be also like Instagram artists. Like a lot of my people I follow on Instagram have like, I mean, it's like only 4 posts from this Instagram artist I really like, but it's still something to fix your feed.
So we're coming to the end. Any other lasting comments you want to make? Shout outs, anything?
Be the change you want to see in the world. Leave the world better than you found it. If someone's being an asshole, and unless they are being a bigot, beat them up if they're being a bigot. Always punch a Nazi in the face. But if they're just kind of being like annoying or rude and just like in a weird calloused way, don't give it time. Don't let one angry person ruin a good day.
Well, thank you, Banner. This has been a great interview.
We
have a lot of material. I hope you don't mind if we just summarize some things in the book.
Yeah, you're allowed to. No, I talk a lot.
No, you're good, though. I really appreciate this. This is going to be a fun thing to listen back to.
40 minutes.
Thank you. I got a podcast.
This is an actual podcast.
All right. And we are done. Boom.